What up, y'all? DJ Klyph. Welcome back to the Klyph Notes podcast. Just had a dope conversation with local designer, photographer, Gabriel Gurrola. And it was a really cool conversation, man. We had a chance to talk about his experience shooting photos of some of your favorite MCs. And yeah, man, just the process that he's taken, the journey that he's taken, and then what he's created, presented that we can all appreciate, not just online, but he's got a couple books that he put together. So it's a really dope conversation, man. I think you're really gonna dig it. So check out this latest episode of the Klyph Notes podcast right after this. Support for the Klyph Notes podcast comes from Akepele Apparel, an idea born from a love of hip-hop, funk, and soul music and its surrounding cultures. With fashion being a huge visual part of the cultures, they've created expressive images to pay homage, invoke nostalgia, and showcase the elements that make up the lifestyle and cultures of these genres. Akepele, apparel for the music lifestyle. For more information, check out akepele.com. That's AKEPELE.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show you're about to listen to may contain explicit content. So guess what? You need to put them babies to sleep. This is for grown folks only. So we're not held liable for anything you might be offended by. Thank you for listening.
Yes, yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Everywhere you listen to your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and of course at klyphnotes.com. We still on lockdown, y'all. COVID-19 is still in effect. It's craziness out there. I hope everybody's doing all right. I hope you folk are staying healthy, finding ways to stay engaged with your surroundings. And I hope y'all washing y'all hands, man. I know that like some people out there are questioning the whatever, man, but I'm trying to tell you, better safe than sorry at the very least. So, but nah, man, we're back. We're continuing on. Grateful to have everybody who's been checking in. It's so dope just to see people literally from all over the planet who are rocking with the Klyph Notes podcast, man. I appreciate you all. I see you. I get to look at the statistics. So thank you for rocking with us, man. Remember, you can always hit me up at klyphnotes@gmail.com with questions, comments, suggestions, and I will get back to you for real. But yeah, it's dope to be able to connect with this cat, man. We've been talking for a while about trying to come together, and I'm really excited to get more into the story because I'm learning that as I'm doing my research, I'm learning that the story runs super deep. So without any further ado, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up? My name is Gabe Gurrola. You might find me on Instagram, Facebook as Fats5941, Portland hip hop head and archiver and graphic designer out in the streets.
What's up, Gabe?
That's right.
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Thank you for having me on. It's a great honor. Absolutely. I know we've been talking a long time.
Absolutely, bro. Like I said, as I've been doing some research, man, delving further and further in, it's really crazy to me how deep it goes and how involved you've been in the scene and then just what you do and the ways that you share what you do with the masses, man. So a few things to talk about, but I want to start off sort of where I plugged in with you, just seeing you at shows here in the city, man. Just like you said, you're a hip hop head, so that's where we first connected. Just seeing you around at shows. Is Portland home for you?
No, I'm a California native, Central Valley originally. I started taking pictures in the Bay Area, old school Psycho City, Bay Area graffiti all the way through the Central Valley. Big shout out to my man Jay Meir. In the early 90s, I moved. I came up to see my mom. My mom lived in Portland, so I came up to visit her. And I knew Portland had a crazy graffiti scene, so I went and went and check it out. And one day, if a lot of old school cats will know that the Fred Meyer on Burnside, the underground parking garage used to be full of graffiti. And I don't know if do you remember that back in the day?
Nah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, there used to be a ton. Used to be the whole underground parking garage used to be full of graffiti. And so I came up and I went to take photographs of it. And I ran into this cat named Jay Meir, and we stayed in touch. And then I decided to move to Portland, and he put me on.
That's crazy, bro. The work that you do is so cool, and I definitely want to give people, if they haven't plugged in yet, I want to give them an opportunity to check out some of the work that you've had an opportunity to capture. Is that your eye for street art? Is that just a product of coming up and being exposed to it? Like, where did that love or that passion for capturing that via camera come from?
I wasn't very good as a graffiti writer. So I used to have I had an ex-girlfriend that told me that I sucked, and that I'll never be more than a spectator.
Oh man.
Which is true.
Okay.
So, I ended up archiving some of the best graffiti pieces nobody's ever seen.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah,
that's what's up. Those who are fans of hip hop as a culture have an understanding that graffiti is just the visual portion of hip hop. So it makes a ton of sense when you call yourself a hip hop head, in terms of connecting with the not just the visual portion, but DJing and MCing. Where does that love, or where does that connect come from?
Oh man, just from the beats, from the rhymes, from everything. 4 elements of hip hop. A lot of people don't talk about it as much anymore, but that is still, it's still thriving. I mean, people still breakdance, people still love street art, and people still MCing and DJing. It's still a foundation. It's kind of shifted in a different direction, but there's still a ton of cats that are still keeping it real and still representing the 4 elements.
No doubt, man. When it's cool to be able to look back when you're looking at the history of the art form. It's cool to be able to look back and see photographs of like old flyers, handwritten flyers from hip hop shows, or photographs of posters at hip hop shows, and then early photographs of early events. And it's cool to know that you're someone who is capturing that for history, man. But how'd you first pick up the camera?
Again, as I heard, so in the early 90s, or the mid 90s, I heard there was these walls, and there was no internet, so the only way you could learn about graffiti, or just street art in general, is you either lived in the city, either San Francisco, LA, or you were able to catch a graffiti magazine, but to learn your hand styles, your letter writing, and just how to put a piece together and see what other people are doing, and it's very similar in the style. So I had a camera at the time, and I was able to go out and take pictures and then get them developed, and that was where you were able to learn with your crew how to build your style off of other people's, or either bite their style or try to emulate them. No
doubt, man. Well, you've done some pretty amazing work just in terms of capturing the art form. I'm a delve off just a little bit, because one of the other things that your art shows is that you are not only a hip hop head, but you're also a sneakerhead.
Oh, bro! Oh my god! Yeah, I know. It's like I got most definitely. I have I got an excellent sneaker collection. Absolutely, my love for sneakers is deep.
That's what's up, V. So being in the Northwest, or being in Portland specific, is not a horrible thing if you're a sneakerhead.
It can be, because sometimes being from where the Nike headquarters is, they'll release shoes better colorways. Like Japan will get a better colorway. New York, they have their own. Nike New York, they'll always have their own better colorways, and they'll release them general release out there before they will release it here and home. So, which is crazy to me.
Good point. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And that kind of frustrates me as a sneakerhead.
So do you primarily rock with Nike then?
Most definitely.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It depends. I do own a pair of shell toes. I'm not gonna front. I do have a pair of shell toes, and I got a B-boy 3 stripes original B-boy jacket too. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be into hip hop and say you were truly hip hop head or a sneakerhead if you don't at least have a pair of shell toe Adidas.
Say that. Say that. Absolutely, bro. So obviously, like I said, man, doing research, and I mean, and just being connected, scrolling through your Instagram, your photo feed, man. It's really cool to see how connected you are with the scene, both local and then especially with a lot of Cali artists. What is in terms of shows, in terms of capturing shows, what's the first show you remember capturing?
Oh, I have it framed on my wall.
Oh, that's what's up.
It was 1998. It was the Alcoholics, and some local artists had opened up for him. You might have heard of them. They went by Audio Orphans and Oracle's Creed, better known as now Old Dominion.
Wow, that's a throwback, yo.
Yeah, it was my first show, and I actually snuck into the show.
Oh, word?
Yep, I went to. I got my camera. I went down. I hadn't moved here officially. I had just come for the summer, and I snuck. I came down to the Roseland Theater. I waited outside around 7:00, waited for the tour bus to pull up, and I was like, "Yo, I'm here to take pictures." And I got right in, and I actually got a VIP pass, and I still have it with the flyer.
Wow.
And ended up taking pictures, and then I ended up meeting Ron Enright, who used to run his production company, Direct Productions, with Ben Aramis. And I met Ben, and they kind of kept me on. I told them that's what I'd like to do, and they put me on.
Wow, bro. Like, it's, when you think about it, it's probably, I mean, things are obviously different now, but to imagine someone being able to just step up and say, "Yo, I'm here to take pictures," and get into a show like that, and that connect like that. That is that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? It's almost like it was meant to be.
Definitely. It was ballsy for sure. It could have worked two ways. I didn't even have a ticket because the show was sold out. Mm-hmm. So it was I'm either getting in or I'm not. So, and I wasn't taking no for an answer. And I was like, "Look, man, I got my camera. I'm ready to go." They're like, they didn't really even question it. Like security, they're just like, "Go through." And I went and I got a VIP pass and ended up. That was the far I was here as well. A lot of he was part of the Liquid crew, mm-hmm. And I met DJ Wicked that night, mm-hmm. and a couple other other local DJs that I don't think they DJ in the city anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, bro. But such a cool story when you think about folk who have a passion for this art form, and you described your journey of getting into it, finding your path, and have been really successful at it. I just think those stories are so cool and inspiring. And a lot of times people have that question, like, I want to be involved, I just don't know how to be involved. I don't know where I fit in. And I think it's cool that you have that story to share.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely. Getting in, the old saying, "Getting in where you fit in." Yep. Just making moves, not being, I introduce myself to everybody, I just try to be like, "What's up?" I'm out here taking pictures, and then at the time everybody was like, "Oh, do you have a card? Do you have a card?" And I didn't have any money. Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Nah, I don't have a card," but then that's why I ended up just collecting a ton of photos and working with Direct and hopefully going to get them put on the website. Unfortunately, that never happened. Mm-hmm. but ended up, archiving some of the greatest shows ever to come through Portland.
100%, bro. 100%. So like I said, man, if people, and we'll speak more about it, but I want to encourage people to check out both your Instagram and then of course the website so they can see a lot of the photos that you've captured. I want to speak to one in particular. There's a pic that you took, or that there's a pic that you have of you and Guru. I know that you've had an opportunity to capture some amazing artists, man, but do you remember that? Do you remember that, going to that show, being able to connect with a legend MC like that?
Absolutely. Dude, this is the craziest story. I ended up getting fired from my job because of that tour. And
wow. Okay.
Dude, this story is so crazy. But it's one of my favorite because it had to go down the way it did, or else it wouldn't have happened. So, it was direct productions. It was going to be Gang Starr. It was the Electric Circus tour. It was 2003. I was assistant manager at Foot Action at the Lloyd Center. And Gang Starr was coming through. I was helping out, passing out flyers, being part of the street team. I was hyped. I was like, hell yeah. It's Gang Starr, it's Guru, DJ Premier, it's Common, it's Big Suge, Eric Badu, and I was like, hell yeah, we're gonna do this. And I was taking photos and end up so downstairs, if you've been backstage at the Roseland backstage, and then they got a downstairs area. So I'm just downstairs chilling, because I don't bother any of the artists until they approach me. So my thing, so we're down there chilling, and Big Suge comes up to me and he's like, yo man, what's up, what are you all about? He's like, what are you all about? Why are you all over there all quiet and shit, being all like just keeping it? I was like, man, I don't bother any of the artists. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to take pictures when it's showtime. I'm just chilling. I'm just doing my thing. And he was like, well, why don't you come over here? And because they had openers going on. I don't recall who was opening at the time. The show might not even have started yet. But Big Suge was, we started, drinking a little bit of Heineken, and then he wanted to start, playing the dozens with me. He wanted to start talking shit. But he was basically talking shit. He was talking shit. He was just like trying to bust me down. And Guru was just like, nah, man, it's all good. You don't have to, he just wants to see what you're going to say, or if you're going to say anything back. And I go, oh, if it's like that, then, I mean, if he wants to make it happen, let's go. I'm from California. We're the Central Valley, where we come from talking shit. Yeah. People love to talk shit. And so I was like, all right, cool. Then let's go. And I, ended up saying some shit that probably would have gotten my ass kicked if he wouldn't have started this. Right. But anyway, I don't, unless you want me to tell you what I said. I mean, Big Suge, he's a big dude. If you know Big Suge is from the Gang Starr Foundation, you know what I'm saying? He's a big dude. He's probably almost 7, like 6'5", 6'6". He's a big dude. He is a big. I'm not one to fuck with Boston cats. And I was like, so yeah. Anyways, we ended up. I ended up saying some shit, and everybody downstairs was, going wild. And Guru, this is a true story. Take it out you want it. The Guru was like, "Man, welcome to the Gang Starr family," and they invited me to go on the next couple of city tours with them. What? Mind it, I have got to go. Yeah. So they were like, we want you to come and photograph the rest of the Northwest tours with us. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like, I'm about that. Wow. I'm not missing this opportunity. But I had to work the next day. I had to open up the store. I ended up passing the keys off to another employee saying, I'm not missing this opportunity to take pictures of these guys, and especially again for a second or third night. Right. And so I passed the keys off. I ended up getting fired, And then if you want to go ahead and describe I ended up taking backstage. I mean, I've got probably close to 1,000 photos. I mean, close to a couple hundred photos from the time that I had spent with Guru and Gang Starr. And if you want to go ahead and describe the photo that you're speaking of, and then I can go ahead and finish off the rest of that story.
Well, I mean, to me, just the any opportunity that I think where you get to be in the presence of someone who is elite in what they do. And I think we know anybody who follows hip hop recognizes the, Guru from Gang Starr, first off top, you know what I mean? Everybody knows that, well, maybe not everybody, but people should understand the impact that Gang Starr as a collective has on the history of hip hop. But then when you look at what Guru was able to do career wise moving forward, and then when you look at what he did with Jazzmatazz, and I think that introduced so many people to this art form that maybe would not have messed with jazz otherwise. There's a couple pics, but there's the one pic with you and Guru just standing together, looking like, I mean, it doesn't look like it's not one of those. It's not a picture that it would look like if I took it with Guru, where I'm just like fanboying out. It just looks like y'all two know one another. He understands who you are, connected with you that way. That's why I brought it up, bro, because it comes across as more than fanning out. It comes across as it looks as if he has a certain level of respect for your craft.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it was a good time. We talked sneakers, we talked family, we talked shit. We drank beer, we got high, we ate dinner together. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And I couldn't miss out that opportunity. And now I have a crazy story, and I have photos, to prove, and then plus two, people talk stories, and unless you got real proof to back them up, we were, it was good. I mean, I have photos of me holding, I was even wearing his sunglasses, his iconic sunglasses, and his tour badge ID, because we were chilled for a couple days, and we spent hours together.
Yeah, I did. There's the photo with you holding up the pass, and then there's just the photo of the two of you standing together. Just dope, bro. Just dope.
Yeah.
Another photo that I'm grateful that I am a part of the Gabe collection is the night that Rakim was at Dante's, and for me, I tell people that's sort of a bucket list moment for me when it comes to MCs. For me, Ra is like he's at the top of the list for me, and so to have an opportunity to see him in the city, to connect with him, to meet him. There's a photo that you have of Wicked when he opened for Rakim, and you caught me in the background, which is dope. So like I said, it's dope to be able to be a part of your collection. But another artist who really changed hip hop, and you have captured his set here in Portland on film, bro. I think it's just dope to see the places that you've been able to get through your art.
Oh yeah, man! Thank you again. That Rakim show. I think that's where I first. I think we kind of like met that night, but we didn't really get a chance to actually chop it up as much then, because you know how loud it can be at a show.
Yeah.
But I have photos of you that night, and I can shoot them over to you later. Just got to remind me to do that, because I know I took a ton of photos, and absolutely Rakim is and one of the people of this new show, the Ozarks. I mean, they were playing Rakim and Eric B on Netflix. I mean, his impact. I mean, even everybody knows Rakim saying. You know what I'm saying? He made some of the iconic sayings in hip hop.
Absolutely.
That people use today, that people don't even know where that shit came from.
100%. Like I said, man, he literally changed the trajectory of the art form because of the way that he rhymes, man. He did things that people didn't realize you could do, and I think so many artists owe a lot of their success, knowingly or unknowingly, to the platform that he created or what he did. There are so many other photos that you have of artists that you had a chance to shoot during shows, or any others that stand out, any other stories that stand out to you from your experiences with the camera.
That Gang Starr one is probably one of the top ones, but
Yeah.
any hieroglyphics,
Mm-hmm.
hieroglyphics came to town. 50 Cent, Cypress Hill, Mixed Master Mike, Swollen Members.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of living legends. I mean, there's so many shows. Dilated Peoples, the Alcoholics. That one was, that was, the starting point there, and then the Cypress Hill show was probably the ending point because that was the last show that Direct Productions had put on.
Yeah.
And that was in 2004, and that was at the Crystal Ballroom. That was an epic show.
That's what's up, bro.
That was a good night. But
And then it's cool just to see the number of Northwest artists that you've captured as well, man. Surge Severe, obviously Destro, El Pro. You talk about Old Dominion. Photos of you chilling with JFK, Henri Osborne. It's cool once again to see this captured, because it's such a big part of what we do, what we believe in. And I'm if the world lasts as long, I'm excited for 20 years from now for people to be able to look back and see how you've been able to document what happened, not just internationally, but locally right here in the city.
absolutely, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, definitely. We've even talked about putting out a Northwest book about just Northwest MCs, from Maya G and Sleep, and Maya G's done a lot for the hip hop as well too.
Yeah. A lot of folk who've done so much in terms of using their platforms to provide for artists. Really, really too many to name. I need to stop naming names because I know I'm gonna leave people out. But just know, people know, like the Northwest hip hop scene, Portland specific, is a big part of my heart, man. So I'm grateful to have just a part in that. You mentioned wanting to, looking at potentially putting together a book of Northwest MCs. That would not be the first. You've actually put together a book, and I want to give you some time to talk about that, because I think that in a time where we can jump online, jump on our phones and scroll through and catch video clips and photos and this, that, and the third, I think that there's nothing like being able to have a tangible book in your hand. So talk about that, bro.
Yeah, especially if the lights go out during this quarantine, this time, because you never know what's the next step. When's the other shoe gonna drop? So, having a book, by candlelight, I put out two coffee table books. One is called Live on Stage, and the other one is going to be a graffiti street art book as well.
Okay. So let's start with the first one, Live on Stage. Talk about that one.
The Live on Stage is it's fully covered. It's got a nice hardbound book. It is it showcases a ton of events going through Portland's hip hop scene. From DJ Wicked. I also put in there a lot of local shows. With from Del the Funky Homo Sapien. The book is it has about 300 to 400 photos in here.
Mm-hmm.
And it just showcases a bunch of different shows, from local artists all the way up to but I wanted to make sure that I did showcase a lot of local artists as well, because mainly I would mostly wanting to put this out here in Portland. You know what I'm saying? Started off here.
No doubt, man.
So
I was again looking through, talking about local artists, man. I would be remiss if I didn't, and local shows. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. You have a number of pics in here of the homie Anthony Sanchez, who we know is continuing to recover from his medical issues, but you captured an event that he put on, Fire on the Mountain, which was an event that happened. It was an outdoor concert event, multi-genre, he had artists like Lifesavers, which is just ridiculous to me. But you worked on shows with Anthony a number of times, or just had a connection with him a number of times. So I wanted to take a minute to mention him. But some of the other folk that you have in the book live on stage.
Yeah, I mean, I have. Let's see. Let me go through it. I have it right here in my hands.
Okay.
Let's see. I got Black Eyed Peas. Back in the day when Fergie just got involved with the group. But I did specifically. Yeah, I love. I go back to Anthony Setches. That's my boy. And we did a lot of shows, and I wanted to. I put him. I made a book and put specifically Runaway Productions on there,
Nice.
and made sure I showcased a lot of the photos that we've got a chance to work together on shows together, like The Fire in the Mountain, which had The Far Side and Diggable Planets, and a ton of rock bands, man. That shit was so epic. If you were not there, oh man, you missed out, because it was definitely multi-genred, and it was amazing, because I got to listen to different types of even experimental music, which was crazy. It's just like people just expressing themselves, using different kinds of equipment to make music, which is awesome.
Yeah. It's again just another example of how much talent is here in the city of Portland and the surrounding areas, and it's cool to be able to share that with people who, in a way that maybe they didn't have an opportunity to experience it live, but you're giving them an opportunity to experience it through photographs.
Absolutely, yeah, and the coffee table book was the best way to give back and kind of represent it too. It's high quality photo paper. I put a lot into this book, so
No doubt.
And I'm looking forward to making another one as well.
That's what's up. So if people want to check that one out, what's the way that they can do that?
You can see a couple of sample photos on my Instagram page, but you can just, there's an email address on there that you can hit me at, and that's going to be at FATS5941. That's PHATS 5941 at gmail.com. And shoot me or go on Instagram at FATS5941, and let me know if you're interested in the book, and I can get one out to you.
That's what's up, man. So that's live on stage. And then you're also working on, or have you completed working on the graffiti book yet?
I have completed that one already as well.
Okay. And that's another one that they would be able to access same way?
Absolutely, yeah. And you can see a couple of samples of the of both those books on Instagram as well.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Aside from your Instagram page, you also have your website, and there's a bunch of great photos on the website as well. Let folk know where they can check that out.
Yeah, my website is going to showcase my graphic design. It's my portfolio, my online portfolio for graphic design and photography, and that's going to be GabeGurrolaDesign.com, and that's GabeGurrolaDesign.com.
That's what's up, bro. Some of the things that you've done design-wise, I think, are pretty cool. The branding things that you've done as well. Looking at some that one that I wanted to ask you about specifically was, I'm getting to it right now. Cons Collective. What is Cons Collective?
Yeah, that's thank you for asking about that. That's going to be Cons Collective is a design studio for. It was put out by all graffiti writers. Well, not all graffiti writers. A graffiti writing crew that wanted to showcase, the street art style in design. Shout out to my boy Alex Wright. He's part of that. He does a lot of work with Cool Nuts and Serge Severe. You'll notice his work with he's worked on them, and Destro Destruct's Day of the Dead album as well. We all collaborated on that as well to get that going.
That's what's up.
But yeah, we do web design, page layout, and what you see there right there, the album artwork as well.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. Alex is my guy, man. He actually did the logo for this podcast. So I know Caso Dinero very well. One of the best. He's literally the go-to guy in the city for real. Like, let's just keep it 100.
Dude, yeah, he is amazing. We went to design school together, and I knew when I first met him, I was like, that dude is special.
Hmm.
I was like, that guy he's so damn talented.
Yeah.
And oh man, he's amazing. He makes me I want to be better. I want to be like that guy.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
Other things that I see on here, the homie El Pro, you have the layout for a project that he did, so people get an opportunity to see what you do there. Are you in a position where people can reach out to you if they're looking for artwork, whether it be for albums or flyers, that sort of situation?
At this time, with my full-time design job, I'm not doing any freelancing at this time. But you never know. I mean, you send something my way, it might just be like spark. It might be like, oh heck yeah, I'm never gonna turn down an idea. I'll definitely, absolutely hear you out and see if it's something we can collaborate on together.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Chopping up with Gabriel Gurrola. So, the two books are the primary things that you're working on right now in terms of getting out and getting it into people's hands. Obviously, with everybody being on lockdown, there's not an opportunity to capture any shows right now. But anything else that people should plug into in terms of connecting with what you're doing with your artwork.
Yeah, I mean, I have those two books. I have a lot of framed stuff. I have enough stuff to open up like 3 galleries of just street art photography, just to even sneakers. I take a lot of pictures of sneakers too. I have them framed up in a bunch of a little bit like 16 by 20 frames. Mm-hmm. I have a ton of street art photography already framed up and. Can customize to somebody else's needs too.
That's what's up, man. I can speak to that. You gifted me with a framed piece, man, and I want to publicly say thank you for that. It's a dope piece that you took of a bunch of the street art that you've captured, and I have it framed in my studio right now. So thank you very much, B.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad that I was able to get one because I know I was going to give one to you a while back for an Anthony Sanchez benefit, but we ran out, so I had to wait until I ran into you again to get you another one.
Good looking out, bro. Good looking out.
Yeah, I didn't forget about you.
Yo, one other thing I wanted to ask you about was the work that you did on the Soul Swap event. Seeing as how that was an opportunity for you to put two things that you love together, which is sneakers and then your talent as an artist.
Oh yeah, that was a great project. That was a kind of so Portland has that was when they first started doing the sneaker cons. I wanted to create the Portland's own sneaker con, basically called Swole Swap, and we did the create branding for it from the logo design. Originally, it was supposed to be, we kind of pitched it for a redesign for Flight School. Mm-hmm. And if you've seen Flight School's logo and webpage and graphics, they weren't very good. Let me just say that. And we pitched them the rebranding, but we never heard back from them. They're still continuing to. So we kind of just did our own rebranding of that, hoping we can get their attention, but we never heard back from anybody. So
that's what's up, bro. Well, I'm grateful for the work that you've done as a fan of this art form. It's so cool once again to be able to see the capture of artists, MCs, DJ. I mean, just hip hop in general. But the way that you put it together and present it, I think is such high quality. And I am encouraging everybody to take advantage of getting a piece of it, man. Not just online, but getting that in their hands. So one more time, Gabe, let them know how they can get copies of the books.
Absolutely, you can hit me up on Gmail. Email me if you want to check out a book. It's going to be PHATS fats5941@gmail.com, or you can send me a direct message at fats5941 on any of the platforms of social media, and that's PHATS5941.
That's what's up, man. Bruh, once again, man, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to come through and jump on the podcast, man. Excited to have you as a part of what I'm doing, man, and just grateful to have your telephone number in my phone, man, so I can reach out and just continue to build with you.
Absolutely. Call me anytime. I'm always down to chop it up and talk hip hop and sneakers for sure as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I'm gonna hit you up about them pictures too, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to send me a reminder. I got a ton. Just because you know what I'm saying. Like, there's a ton of that I don't even look at, and then I'll go back to it and I'm like, oh yeah, you were right there.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man. Gabriel Gurrola. Check him out all over Instagram or Twitter. But check out the website, GabrielGurrolaDesign.com. Get an opportunity to see some great work by a great artist. Or once again on social media, Fats PHATS 5941. Man, my dude, thank you once again so much for being a part of this, bro. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks again, man. Klyph, you keep holding down Portland and take care of yourself during this quarantine. And we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So that's it. That's another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Once again, thank you to my guest, Gabriel Gurrola. Thank y'all for checking it out. Remember, the podcast is available everywhere you listen to your podcast: Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher. Where you can check it out at klyphnotes.com. You can hit me up with questions and comments at klyphnotes@gmail.com. A couple of shout outs right quick, man. I got to give a big thank you to Akepele Apparel for their continued support of the Klyph Notes podcast. Check them out. Such dope material, such dope product, man. Akepele Apparel is AKEPELE.com. Also, big ups to XRAY FM for their continued support of the Klyph Notes podcast. Check out the Klyph Notes podcast on the XRAY FM podcast network at xraypod.com. And last but never ever least, big ups to the homie Theory Hazit for creating the official theme song for the Klyph Notes podcast. Be sure to check me out all over social media at DJ Klyph at DJ KLYPH, or check out the DJ Klyph website, djklyph.com. Check out or subscribe to the DJ Klyph YouTube page. Man, I'm all over the place, man. But just reach out and let's continue to build positively, through this thing that we love called hip hop. All right, y'all. God bless you until we have an opportunity to do this again. Peace.